What is going on, you guys? It's that time again for another Squared Circle collecting chat. Holy crap, that's a freaking mouthful. I need your help to shrink that thing down some.
That's what she said.
Card cutter. Things are great. The freaking popularity or the support that Mike and I have gotten from the past two episodes have just been insane. Like him and I were talking earlier today, and we never, ever, ever thought this would have happened. This much support. I get PMs through Facebook. I've actually gotten 2 emails. Mike's telling me people's reached out to him. He's called some people. Thank you. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, no, it's been outstanding. We were kind of shocked the other day when, we looked at like just the amount of people that were commenting, reaching out to us. We're lining up other guests for upcoming show that we're going to be doing. And, they were all for it. They were loving it. So, thanks to everyone who's gotten behind us and given us the support. We're having a lot of fun with it. And that's what this has got to be about, right? It's got to be about if you're not having fun, why are you going to do it?
That's kind of why we started this, is because we were kind of getting stale and a little stagnant with what was going on in the sports hobby, if you will.
Yeah, we just.
So I don't know about you, but I'm pretty geeked out about the guy today that is joining us for tonight's chat. You know him. God, dog, he's been around YouTube for a long time. He has his hands in so many cookie jars, different podcasts.
Most requested guest.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. So here he is. She blinded me with refractors. Andy.
Yeah, there he is. Oh, man. Whoa.
Hey, dude, this is just a chat, man. Calm down.
The Attitude Era. It's not tonight.
This is family friendly, Andy.
Oh, man. I don't like this.
Hey, does he have a fucking championship belt?
He's got a belt on. I don't like this. No.
I told you we shouldn't have had him on, dude.
Like, this is getting a lot of hand. I just wanted to chat, and I didn't think we were going to have any trouble. Apparently, we're going to have trouble. Man, he's coming in full tilt, baby. Full tilt. Whoa.
I just broke my character, dude.
What's up, guys?
I'm a little intimidated here.
Hey, what's going on, champ?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm just here for the show.
See, everyone doesn't even realize it, but when that thumbnail was made for tonight, that nothing had to be superimposed on Andy. That was a picture from when he wrestled.
Well, from when he wrestled.
Yeah, absolutely. That was him. So he's got experience. Welcome,
our guy JT had to edit us.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was from back in the 90s.
Hey, so Andy, like we said, man, thanks for coming on. We'll go ahead and jump into it. So as you two know, and I'm sure everyone watching this knows by now, Road Warrior Animal passed away earlier this week, Legion of Doom. So I did a little research on him. He was kind of a little bit before my time. From what I found in my research, they were put together in 1982, 1983.
Yeah.
But in 1986, I got a couple matches that I think y'all should watch. 1986 Starrcade. They did a tag team championship match with the Midnight Express, and it was a scaffold match. There was this huge freaking scaffold above the ring, and
crazy.
Somehow, some way, Jim Cornette ended up like dangling from this scaffold, and he was about 15 to 20 feet in the air, and he let
with
go
with no tennis racket.
Yeah, he had no tennis racket.
No tennis racket. Okay.
And he ended up letting go, and like no kidding, like real life blew out both of his knees.
Oh man.
Landing that. So
Wow.
that's 1986 Starrcade. Another awesome match I would say to watch is 1991 SummerSlam. They did a tag team championship match with the Nasty Boys.
Right.
The Nasty Boys were the champs, and the Legion of Doom was coming in, and they won. And when Legion of Doom won, that place, the roof almost came off. The pop was so loud.
Nice.
And then the only other thing that I really remember about Legion of Doom was the 1992 SummerSlam at Wembley Stadium. Yeah, exactly. When they came down to the ring in those freaking hogs, open air.
Oh yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
they look like the coolest dudes in the room, man. So,
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all have any stories or anything y'all remember about either one of Road Warrior Animal or Hawk, but take it away if y'all do.
I was just gonna say, like, you know, if you look up on, you can Google search at any time. If you look up top tag teams, whether it's WWE, WCW, it doesn't matter. There's lists out there, top 10, top 50, top 100. They're number one on everybody's list.
Yeah.
They've been around so long, elected to the WWE Hall of Fame in 2011. And yeah, like just a storied career. So
Yeah. You ever watch them, Andy?
Yeah, it's funny. So this is probably like back in the mid 80s. So I would have been, 7, 8 years old, something like that. My parents actually took my brother and I to watch the Road Warriors. They were in Amarillo, Texas, which was like 2.5 hours away from where I grew up.
What is that, like a house show?
No, this is like a big show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. No, we went to several of the bigger shows back then, and I just remember as a kid, the face paint, the spikes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like it was incredible just to be in that environment, the crowd just going nuts. And then I don't know if you guys knew this, and I think like we were talking to JT the other night, and I said something about Hawk. I was thinking that his son was AJ Hawk, which was wrong, but
yeah,
Animal's son is actually James Laurinaitis, who was a linebacker. He was like a 3-time All-American at Ohio State. So that's like an interesting little tidbit, I guess. But yeah, those guys were
JT's alma mater, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, they were definitely some tough SOBs, man. So we wanted to talk about them a little bit before we got the show. But like our guest here, Andy, this is kind of you're in the spotlight, man. Let us know your history in collecting wrestling fandom. The floor is yours, man.
So for me, wrestling, like my addiction to wrestling started before any of the other sports. So this was like when I was 6, 7 years old, and my brother and I, he's 2 years younger than me. So, we would get in trouble all the time for trying like all these crazy wrestling moves on each other. Like I can remember one time at Christmas at my grandmother's house, my dad getting onto us because I had my brother down in a camel clutch. And then another time, like everybody wants to be the high flyer, right, off the top ropes. Yeah. So I had this great idea. My mom has this exercise bike. So I'm like, all right, this is gonna work, right? So I get on top, I get on the seat, and I'm gonna jump off of the exercise bike like it's the top rope and do like a little elbow drop on my brother. And so I jump off and I hit my arm on the bar, and I broke my arm off of this exercise bike.
You didn't break character, did you?
I might have broke character. I think I was 8 years old. So
how was your mom with that?
She was not happy. I can remember before we went to the hospital, my dad was on a job. He built houses. So we went to where he was at and kind of let him know what happened. And, he just kind of gave me that look like,
Boys will be boys.
Hospital,
Yeah. Let me know how you made out.
So yeah, we were huge wrestling fans. We had, all of the toys. I can remember my dad actually, he was a carpenter and a house builder. So he actually built us like a little wrestling ring for the figures.
Awesome.
He had the 4 wooden posts, and then he put rubber bands for the ropes.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it was really neat.
Did you have the full size like rubber guys that were like that? Because that's the one I remember playing with. Not really the LJNs, but I don't even know what they're called. But I just remember they were like
I bet someone in the chat will let us know.
Yeah, so I can remember we did have some of those, but I think we also did have some of the LJNs, the smaller ones that fit better in the ring, and like we would go at it with those things. So they had like arms missing, and I can remember one time our dog got a hold of one, so he had like teeth marks all over his face.
That's fantastic.
I don't know if y'all are familiar with the price of those, and I definitely wasn't until about a month ago when we started this whole thing. But there is a huge market for those LJNs, in minty fresh condition, mint on card condition. I mean, I think I seen someone selling a Hogan the other day for it was like $850, and there was comments like, "Oh, what a deal! Oh man, what a great price!" And I was like,
It's surprising. Like you start looking. I mean, I know Garrett and I have both, trying to amp up our PC collection for wrestling cards, but you see other things outside of the cards, and man, there's some pricey stuff. It's just, and I don't know if that's because it was under collected. You know what I mean? So a lot of the stuff carries a premium that you're just not going to find anymore, but man, some of the prices are out of this world.
Well, I think the stuff that Garrett's talking about, like the new in-box stuff that goes for a lot of money, I think the reason a lot of the toys from back then, carry that premium is because back then we played with everything, right? None of us we didn't have the vision or the want to leave anything just in the package.
Like sealed wax. You just rip it.
As soon as we got the wrestling figure out of the store, I mean, we had that thing open before we got to the car, right? I mean,
no doubt.
We roughhouse with those things. So so the ones that are still in the package and in condition, they command a big premium for sure.
Carlos makes a good point here. He says part of it that they were really detailed for the time when they came out, and that makes a ton of sense. Because back then, I mean, you think of an action figure back in at least my days was like a G.I. Joe, and you could see the screws in the wrist and everything. But Carlos is right. When those action figures came out in the 80s or what have you, they were detailed. So.
I remember like right now when I have a couple of young boys, when we go somewhere, they're like, "Can I bring a car?" And I'm like, "One." They're like, "Can I take 2?" "Yeah, okay, you can take 2. Yeah. But I remember my mom, the same thing. "Can I bring my figures?" And I always had my Hogan and Ultimate Warrior. Those were like my favorite LJN rubber guys.
Right.
And we would go out to eat, and I'd put them on the table, and she'd be like, "Garrett, take them off the table." I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
And it's so cool, man. So nostalgic, the whole thing.
Those things went everywhere with us, and I was so glad to see you guys start this, because since you guys did the first episode, and I think all of us had kind of like talked about it, here and there a little bit before you guys had did the first episode. But from the moment that you guys did the first episode, man, I found myself going back, watching old wrestling matches on YouTube, and thinking about all those great memories from my childhood, because that was a huge part of my childhood, like way before like baseball, basketball, football, any of that stuff.
Yeah, no doubt. And the other thing too, you mentioned that is you could get the figures and have your own matches. I know, Garrett, you've got a couple for your boys, and I've seen them when we've been talking off camera here, and they're horsing around with them and right into it. And that's what it is. It's nostalgic about it. The nostalgia is really a big part of it, for sure.
And I know Garrett asked too about the collectible side of it. So I haven't really bought anything recently yet. I've been looking at a lot of wrestling stuff lately, mostly, due to us talking about it and stuff. But I did happen to find this, and this is funny because I've had this box right here.
This is amazing. I've seen
I've had this for probably, I don't know, probably 6-7 years, and I bought this for $30 from Kruk Cards. And what this is a 1986 Monty Gum box, and I think there's 50 packs in this box.
Yeah.
And, I mean, like, I hadn't even thought of. I've had this for 6 or 7 years. I hadn't even thought about it until one night we were talking about wrestling, and I was like, I think I have something back here, so let me go take a look at it.
And isn't it printed in like the Middle East or something? Isn't there Middle East printing?
Packs, and I'll kind of show you what they look like.
Yeah, this is a fantastic piece to come across.
So freaking
wow, 1986.
Yeah, and I'm not even sure what language that is.
It's some Arabic language for sure.
Some dialect or something.
Yeah,
Mike, you know we're freaking amateurs when our guests have better stuff than we do.
Yeah, I know. But that's good. That's what we want. We want people on here with the good stuff.
Yeah.
Right? We want to see that.
This is what I wanted to show you. My wife made this. Sitting here with a toothpick in my mouth like freaking Razor Ramon like an idiot. My wife made this past week for my boys.
Oh, see,
there you go.
I already know box, dude.
Yeah, there you go.
Pencils and shoelaces.
Awesome.
I'm going to tell you right now, Seth Rollins and oh my gosh, I can't. Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Have not stopped fighting each other all week in this thing. So
you got to find many ladders, many folding chairs, tables, the whole bit.
They got more frequent flyer miles than most businessmen this past week flying through the air in this house. So
that's awesome.
Like the decade might have changed, but people are still doing what we all did when we were kids.
Yeah.
That's funny because that actually made me think of another story. And I was telling my brother earlier when I was talking to him that I was going to be on here tonight, and I was asking him for some funny stories about when we were kids and stuff. And the toothpick, that made me think of something. So when we were kids, and we'd be around, we had a big family, so when our uncles were around, they had to always be on alert because we would be trying to do wrestling moves, right? So my uncle, he was like, he was sitting on the ground, and my grandmother had this pool table. So my brother, he gets this idea. He's going to get on top of the pool table and use it as the top rope, right?
Oh.
And my uncle had a toothpick in his mouth. So he jumps off of the pool table to do like an elbow drop on my uncle, and that toothpick jabs into the side of his cheek.
Like right through the skin?
It didn't go all the way through, but it was stuck.
Oh wow. That's going to hurt. That's going to leave a mark for sure.
Oh, man. So, yeah, that's freaking awesome, man. And that's what this whole thing is all about. Let's go ahead and move into, I guess, the main topic of this particular video. And this idea was your idea, Andy. Top 5 ring entrances, in our opinion, to us. So we'll go ahead and let Andy get it kicked off since he's our guest, and then Mike, and then
I bet I know which one he really likes. I bet one I know on his top 5, but go ahead.
I'll bring the rear, but Andy, go ahead, get us started, man.
Okay, so on my top 5 list, I did put them in order. We'll start at number 5, and this is going to be an odd one, I think, for people. And the reason why I think it's kind of funny though. But number 5 for me is Disco Inferno.
Yes.
So if you guys remember him, he would come out. Now, the reason that I loved that one was because every time I heard that and I saw him heading to the ring, I knew there was going to be like a big star about to just beat the crap out of him here in a second, right? Because he was one of those guys that always lost.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's your guy.
Right there. So number 4 would be the Big Show.
Yeah.
And these top four, like when I was thinking about these, to me, the cool ring entrances are the ones that, this was a saying that my dad always had with music. He's like, he liked to listen to stuff that would make the hair on the back of your neck stand up a little bit, right? It kind of gets you jacked up. So the Big Show would be number 4. Number 3 would be the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. So yeah, there we go. All right. And he was just so cool because he was just so flamboyant. He'd come out with the fur coat, the perfect head of hair, just prancing around. So that was cool.
Yeah.
Number 2, the Undertaker.
Absolutely.
I mean, you hear the bell ring and, people just went nuts, right?
Oh, it get dark.
Yeah.
And then the little spotlight. Oh man, the thunder and the lightning shows up. Yeah. Big time.
And he'd roll his eyes in the back of his head when he'd get into the ring, and kind of slowly take the hat off. Just very dramatic. He
was on my list, but I've talked about in the last 2 shows that I literally told Mike I can't pick him, man. Like I pick him every freaking show, man.
Yeah, for something.
I took him off my list.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the phenom, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then number 1, of course, it's got to be Triple H, right? I mean, for obvious reasons. I mean, just like to me, like a lot of people, didn't like him, but to me, he was like the ultimate showman. Like, I mean, he just got jacked. He would, whether you loved him or hated him, like you just kind of like you just got excited about the upcoming match.
Yeah,
so that's my top 5, guys.
And what's funny with Triple H is when he was Hunter Hearst Helmsley, I was not a fan. Remember that British music, fancy dance music would come on, and he'd come out and
absolutely
at everybody. Yeah, he went from that to just insane, man. Like he would just pop when he came out.
Yeah.
Then he became more of a favorite, I think, in the entire thing. He was a good one.
What do you got, Mike?
Well, Triple H was on mine. Mine are in no particular order, but I'm going to get Triple H out of the way because he was in my 5. What more can you say? Andy did a great rendition of it. It was fantastic.
You told me that Mike told me his list before. Andy didn't tell me, but Mike told me, and he's like in Triple X, and I'm like, it ain't that kind of freaking video, dude.
That's right. I said Triple X, not Triple H.
That might be your favorite, but that's not the entrance we're looking for.
How to get my mind out of the gutter.
He was mixing Triple H with Degeneration X, right?
Yeah, could be. There you go. We'll go with that, Andy.
That's what I did.
Yeah, that's what it was. Next one, I would have to go with Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Not a big entrance, nothing major, but I just loved the way he came in with such 100 miles an hour. There you go. 100 miles an hour. And the opponent was probably like, okay, here we go. He's coming in like a freight train. And he was just like, he was a good one. I always liked The Rock. Just because I thought whether it was an interview or his entrance,
I think that's people's eyebrows she was doing.
Yeah. And I just, what, he was comical. I liked the way he came out earlier on, and he just listened, and he'd be like, finally, on when he's doing the interviews. I just thought he was awesome. The last 2 I got are Randy Macho Man Savage. Used to come in, escorted in originally when he came in by Miss Elizabeth. He had the big, he also had the draped robe, and they would play Pomp and Circumstance, and he would just spin around. I thought that was just pretty cool. And I have to give kudos to the original entrance, which I think got the entrances going back in the day, was Gorgeous George. Gorgeous George would come in, and he had a valet or a female manager at the time. She would come in with this old perfume spray bottle and just pump spray the ring with Chanel, spray the opponent, spray the referees. And they were playing it up like, what are you doing? She would put a mink piece of fur on the mat and for him to climb in, and then take all the pins out of his hair to allow his curls to flow. And then he would just throw them into the crowd for his adoring fans.
That's where, and once again, we haven't said it this episode yet, but Mike and I are definitely no amateurs. We're no professionals. We're definitely amateurs.
Yes.
But I think that's where maybe Rick the model Martel got that from, because remember, he would come and spray. I mean, he himself, he would spray the ring and spray everybody.
For sure.
That's what Carlos just said.
Yeah. And I wanted to just kind of reiterate one of Carlos' comments earlier on. He said something about this episode should be titled, "How did anyone in Andy's family survive to adulthood?"
That's a good question, Carlos.
Carlos has actually had a couple zingers.
Yeah, he has.
I'm just telling you guys, like, if you were around me and my brother during that time period, you had to be on alert full time, because we might try to pull a move on you.
Nice. Garrett, how about you? What were your top 5?
I will definitely say you two had some awesome ones. And Mike, you had some that I didn't think about just because that's before our time. And I think that's why what we have goes so well, because you're kind of a decade or two before me as far as watching.
You can just say I'm older. It's fine.
I was trying to avoid that. But, and then I'll say, I guess, an honorable mention before I get started, but it's kind of along the lines of Undertaker, is Kane. When his entrance would come on and that music would hit and the red lights and everything was dark, and then, he would do, what would he do? His hands would go down, I think, and the firecrackers. Oh, man. Yeah. So good. So I brought a little show and tell, which I guess that's a lie because I'm not going to show you anything, but I have music for mine. So my number 5, I have these in reverse order. So
nice.
Dude, you would hear this back in the day and people would just go insane, man.
Oh, yeah.
The Ultimate Warrior would just run down like a freaking maniac and do
grab the ring.
Dude, like he just did an 8-ball of cocaine 2 seconds before he came to the ring, which
he may have
heard stories that he did do a little.
He may have
a little thing, but dude, I mean, how could you not be like freaking ready to go and see this guy? I mean, he had it all. The music was jacked. He was just intense as all get out. Yeah. So that's my number 5. My number 4. Dude, you heard this right there, and you just started
again. Oh yeah.
Oh man, you just couldn't help but to just be pumping it, So freaking good. And you'd see all them dudes coming out and they're telling everyone to suck it. And you do that nowadays, man, you would offend somebody. You'd hurt someone's feelings.
Absolutely.
So freaking cool. Next, so this is after I stopped watching for a couple decades. But I mean, if you were on the planet Earth, you knew who John Cena was.
Absolutely.
And you would hear this, that ramp up, and then it would just pop, man.
Yeah.
Dude, and he'd come out with the freaking "Can't See Me" and all the crazy stuff. And I think anything with a good entrance is when they hear the music, especially, for the baby faces, when you hear the music and the crowd pops, man, you already know, like, you got them, dude. Yeah. You got them wrapped around your finger. You got them right where you want them. So Cena's my number 3. My number 2, dude, it doesn't get any more iconic than this, man.
Oh,
are you kidding me, man?
Absolutely.
I better stop that. I'll end up playing the whole damn song. Get a copyright strike.
Yeah.
Were you back there dancing?
Oh yeah, he's doing it all for us.
Yeah, he's getting it back there.
Yeah, man, Hulk Hogan, man, he'd come out and do the whole.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
it seemed like his ring entrance was longer than some of his matches.
Right.
So that's number 2. And then my number 1 favorite, very, very cocky and arrogant early on in his career, but would be this guy right here.
Oh, sexy boy.
I've got to look and try to go while I've got to move. I said, shit, up and down that spine.
That's it, man.
Your son's got it down.
Yeah.
Good thing you're off camera, man. They couldn't see the moves.
Get me.
But yeah, dude, he'd come out and do all the freaking side to the side biceps, and oh, dude,
Shawn Michaels was a hit. He was a hit, that's for sure.
Absolutely love it. So that is my top 5. That was very fun, and Andy, that was an amazing idea you had there, man.
Yeah,
that was always one of the coolest parts was, just the storylines, and then getting, the entrances that got you jacked up for the match.
Right.
I mean, it just all worked together. And I mean, even as a kid, I kind of knew, I'm not sure if these guys are really like wrestling per se, but
right.
It didn't matter. Like, it just, your imagination just took over.
Yeah.
That's just what made it great.
And I had a question too, Garrett, for Andy. Are you, have you caught up on any of the modern day wrestling, or are you
not really? Like, probably the most modern stuff that I watched was probably back in the late 90s, early 2000s.
That's when that picture was taken.
Yeah.
Exactly.
When you retired from wrestling.
Whenever I got out of the biz.
I think I know where Mike was going with this, and this is for Andy, for any of you guys. Man, if you're a wrestling fan and you haven't subscribed to the WWE Network, here in the States, it's $9.99 a month, and there is so much archive footage on there. It is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Every Monday Night Raw event, all the way up till about 2 months ago. I think they have some kind of deal with whatever company or whatever channel Monday Night Raw's on that it can't show like for the past 2 months. So it's always moving.
Right.
Same with SmackDown. It has from the first SmackDown to current. Every pay-per-view is free with your $10 a month subscription, which I'm sure when y'all were kids, you would see them be like SummerSlam 1992, $49.99. Call your cable provider.
Right.
Like $50.
Yeah. No way. Not happening.
You get every pay-per-view with it. And they're not sponsoring this or nothing. I'm just telling you, I think it's the greatest deal. You can cancel at any time.
After, and actually just to add on,
like you're sponsoring.
Adding on to what Garrett said, he was telling me about it so much that I looked into it in Canada, and about 3 days ago, I called my local subscriber and got it added for $13. So, with the Canadian exchange, it's pretty much the same. And it's fantastic. Not only can you go back and watch archive matches and stuff, but there's also, it's like the NFL Network, where the NFL Network has a football life. They have a segment called 24, I believe it is, Garrett, where they were put in a whole documentary on a different wrestler each time. There's another one called Untold. The one I watched was a good match between Cena and Edge that took place in Toronto, and it was a ladder match to get the belt. And basically, they were telling all the secrets behind the stage of this was supposed to happen, it didn't. This wasn't supposed to happen, it did. How it just all came together, and it's really good because you get the behind the scenes track of, it looks all predetermined, and I'm sure there's a script to follow, but sometimes it doesn't always go according to plan. It's really interesting to watch. So
Yeah, really, really well produced. So
very well. Yeah.
So when I was a kid, WrestleManias, the way that I watched those was probably like, I don't know, like maybe 6 months to a year after they happened, we would rent them on VHS.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. No doubt. No
That's
doubt.
how it happened.
I forget the name of the VHS company because they would always be like, "This is an exclusive."
Yeah.
Be like a shoot
Oh,
interview or
yeah.
I forget, man. But Andy, thanks, man. Thank you, 1,000 times over. Not only was this idea fun, but we've been friends. The three of us have been friends for a long time, and dude, I had no clue that you were a little cult wrestling fan, man. And
I mean,
another thing that Mike and I are learning about a lot of our friends is a lot of our friends were wrestling fans and didn't want to talk about it.
yeah, you know, it was just something I guess that we never really had talked about much, but definitely
It's like Fight Club. No, the first rule is we don't talk about Fight Club.
We don't talk about wrestling. That's it. Yeah. Thanks, Andy, so much for coming on. It was great.
I appreciate you guys having me on. And before I hop off, I'm going to make an announcement. I'm coming out of wrestling retirement, and I'm challenging Triple Crown 24 to steel cage match at the National this year.
Nice.
We'll see if he shows up.
You heard it here first. Maybe we can get Triple Crown 24 on a future episode.
Yeah.
What he can do.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I think we can convince him.
Thank you, Andy. Love you, brother.
Thanks, buddy. Have a good one. Throwing it up. That was great. That was fantastic.
Was he, man? I had no idea he knew all that stuff. That was great.
Well, I think there's, I'm looking up at the live chat. I mean, I think there's a lot of people that were quote unquote closet wrestling fans. I mean, it's probably part of everyone's childhood. He has to go defend his title. He has to start training. And yes, Mike. Oh, Stars are up 3-2. That'll be good for Carlos and Kin, who's a Chicago fan but lives in the Dallas or Arlington area, so I know he's rooting for them. Whoa, I think they're all coming out now. We got
Mike saying that he'll beat the crap out of. He thinks Andy's got JT's number.
Yeah. I think we're going to end up putting odds on this or something. There's going to be, he's cut. Look at, we're getting, oh my gosh. You're about to get blinded with these hands.
Blinded with these hands?
That's fantastic.
I'll go ahead and keep this show moving. Mike, do you have any pickups by chance since the last show?
I don't have any pickups. I do have some coming in, but what I am going to do is I bought a few of these sets. I've got them in pages. It's a 72 card set, 1999 WCW Nitro base set made by Topps. It's got Bret Hart. It's got the Disco Inferno. It's all the guys in their NWO, Bischoff and Hogan and Kurt Hennig and you name it. They're all there. And so what we're going to do is have a giveaway. Now, we see all the comments live here. This will replay at some point. You're going to put that on, right?
It's like 30 minutes, sometimes like 5 hours to archive this video.
Right. So what do we say that if you comment once it's archived and put your favorite entrance, then we'll enter them in the draw. And then what we'll do on our next show or what have you, we'll do a random drawing and give it away, and you can get me the information. I'll send it out to you. As a thank you.
One of those pick a comment websites where you put in the video, it picks a comment.
Yeah.
We'll read the comment, and then it'll be up to you, the viewer, to get a hold of Mike. We'll have his contact information down below.
Yep.
point.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, man. Thanks for that. Thanks for doing a giveaway. We'd like to do giveaways on every single episode. Sometimes it might be an action figure, a wrestling action figure. Sometimes it might be a blaster box or 3 or 4 packs. But just something to give back to you guys for giving your time to us for watching.
Yeah.
So I do have a couple pickups. So Sergeant Slaughter is going to be doing a signing soon, and I thought his prices were a little high, so I wrote the dude, and he said if you can do 10 items, that I can get the price down to this per signature. So I went out and got a whole plethora of Sergeant Slaughter cards here.
Nice.
Some X-Fractors, Refractors.
They some of the stickers there?
Oh yeah, I got two of this one.
Wow, that's fantastic.
This is from his Hall of Fame induction.
Nice.
A little Allen and Ginter mini. Oh, that's when he turned super heel, remember?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And then so that's
fantastic. Fantastic.
And then I've picked up some more. I don't know, what are these, 82s or 83s? Yeah, all of these are 82. So and you might think from the last episode, well, you showed that one off. Well, no, I've been buying doubles and triples. So Rick, oh, there's your guy, Angelo Mosca,
Hamilton Tycat,
and Tommy Rich. So those,
nice.
And then last but not least, I mean, this isn't anything big, and that's another reason we went to kind of collecting some wrestling, is because you could pick some awesome stuff up for cheap.
For sure.
I got these X-Fractors. So there's Tim Duggan.
Nice.
A really cool cane. And then this Papa Shango, I think, is absolutely amazing, dude.
Yeah, that is very nice.
I think that would look so cool signed.
No doubt. Yeah, that's great.
There's a pay-per-view this weekend.
Right.
What is it? Clash of Champions?
Clash of Champions, yeah, on WWE.
Right. And I've never seen a Clash of Champions pay-per-view. I've heard that they go back multiple years.
Yeah.
I know now that you have the network, you told me you're going to watch it. Is there anything you're looking for?
I looked it up, the matches. I'm looking forward to the Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton. It's an ambulance match, the WWE Championship. And we were talking about this week.
My wife just said, "Oh God."
Yeah. So listen, yeah, she's there might be a new toy in the Unruh household soon. But the ambulance match, it's funny or ironic because I seen a video on YouTube wherein the ambulance comes apart. They have a toy now for the ambulance, and it comes apart. So, I mean, I think it's all part of the gimmick now. And there's ambulances you can buy out there, and I think that'll just be a great match. I like Randy Orton.
So the match.
How about you?
I'm looking forward to the most, believe it or not, it's one of the women's matches. So they used to call them diva matches, and WWE is trying to get away from that and being a little bit more PC and calling them women's matches and men's matches. Dude, the women's division, man, these freaking females are off the charts, dude. Like,
oh yeah,
very, very talented, very, very entertaining. But the match I'm looking for is the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship, which is Bayley versus Nikki Cross, which Bayley's the champ. I'm kind of a homer. I guess I'm becoming a Bayley fan. I guess I've watched a couple of her documentaries and matches on the network. And I just think she's very, very talented. And then there was a documentary that kind of showed her as the actual who she is, like in real life.
Right.
Very, very nice person, man. So that's the match that I'll be looking forward to.
Yeah, it should be fun.
Obviously, I'm going for Bayley on that one.
Nice. Yeah, it should be pretty good. I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, there's, I think there's about 10 different matches or so that night, and I think it helps me get caught up. Like I've said from the beginning, the modern stuff up to right now, I'm so out of it with. but I know who Randy Orton was, and I just thought it was cool that it was the ambulance match, and we talked about that toy that came out. So yeah, I'm looking forward to watching it. Flipping between that and the football game.
Do you have anything before we close this thing out?
No, just don't forget to comment once it's archived, your favorite entrance, so we can do that giveaway. Just want to thank Andy for joining us. It was great having him on. We also, we've got a couple other guests lined up. We're going to try and do 2 of these a month. Garrett and I, just because of timing and stuff, Garrett and I will probably do 1 solo a month and then 1 with a guest. So I think next month we're going to have Kin Kinsley from Beans Bulk Card Blog, all the way from Arlington, Texas. Talked to him yesterday. We're going to have him coming up in October. And we're going to have Carlos, my Canadian brother on YouTube. He's going to be joining us at some point in November.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, thanks to everyone for the participation. I mean, I know I can speak for Garrett. We're having a blast with this. So, just the support is awesome. We really enjoy it and appreciate it. So yeah, that's all I got.
And also there's a couple other of you guys that have asked to come on the show, and I have the list somewhere. I don't know where the heck it's at.
Yeah.
But we plan on getting y'all all on here multiple times if you want.
Yeah.
And if you're new, if episode 3 here is your first time watching and you want to be on a future episode to talk about wrestling, collectibles, I mean, Mike and I are no experts, so you'll probably be the one calling the episode.
Yeah. And just as long as they're all patient and knowing we're only going to have 1 guest a month. So, we'll eventually get to you. And if someone's saying, hey, I want to be on, we'll get to you.
Love to have you. And also keep the ideas coming. This particular episode, this was Andy's idea.
Mm-hmm.
And so we thought, well, we'll take Andy's idea. And if we could get Andy, that's even better. So the ideas coming. It really makes this so much easier to shoot, man. When you guys are supplying all the ideas, it makes it awesome.
Yeah, no doubt.
Before I close it out, I think in episode 1, I said on our pilot episode, I talked about there's a Razor Ramon action figure at my local Target. And I said I wasn't going to buy it because I'm not going to start collecting action figures, even though I thought it was so cool. And that's the case. I'm not going to start buying action figures, okay?
He's already addicted.
So here it is, man. I can't even tell y'all how much this has become almost a full family thing.
Yeah.
I ask my wife, about once a weekend. I think last weekend we did it twice. We're getting kind of carried away. But once a weekend, like literally just look at her and be like, hey, you want to go on a fig hunt? That's what we call it. Fig hunt? And she's like, sure, let's go. And just we're gone.
That's awesome.
And so we might go to Target, we might go to Walmart, or we go to CVS, Rite Aid, whatever.
Yeah.
And just see what they got. And if they have something new, we buy it. If there's something, so this is like the $20 one. If they have one of the $10 ones, we think one of the boys will buy, or excuse me, would like, we'll buy that.
Right.
It's really become a full family. I showed you. It's really become a whole family thing, and my wife and I and the kids are actually going to watch the pay-per-view this weekend together.
Nice.
So
That's great.
I don't know how far we're going to get into it before everyone's like,
that's great.
But
no, I think it's like sitting down to watch the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's what we're calling it. She
Yeah.
was like, that's our Super Bowl. And I was like, well, I'm thinking in my head, well, that's WrestleMania, but
Yeah.
it definitely should be exciting. So
Good stuff.
till next time, guys, I appreciate y'all. Another freaking 50 minutes of you guys blessing us with your presence and your ears and your awesome comments. Till next time, adios. Be safe. Bye-bye, Chico.